one of the co-founders of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, with the Progress Action Fund, he's spending millions on ads directly towards young men, telling them that he's going to make sure Republicans don't ban their porn. And
I've seen that ad. It makes me physically recoil.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
But Democrats are actually using this as an argument for their party. And so it just shows what a sad, sorry view they have of what a young potential Democratic male voter was, which is a loner in his house, or probably not his house, a loner in his parents' basement, smoking weed, playing video games, watching porn, and gambling on crypto. This is what the Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party thinks of young. That's how they think they're going to appeal to them.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Conn Carroll. Conn, you have written about this week the Democrats' demented messaging to men.
Correct.
In the lead up, and a lot of that centers on Coach Walz of Minnesota, Harris's running mate, who, in one example of this bad messaging, talked about something that's called a pick six, which I understand relates to football.
It does. So pick six by itself is a perfectly good football term.
Okay.
It is what happens is it is shorthand for when the defense intercepts a pass, that's the pick part, and then runs it back for a touchdown. That's the sixth part. So if the quarterback throws to a defensive player who then runs back for a touchdown, that's called a pick six.
Okay.
Perfectly normal plays, except that's an outcome of the play. It's not like a play or a formation that someone runs. And in the tweet that advertised Tim Walz playing Madden online with AOC, the tweet said, which, if Tim Walz wrote it, there's no way he ever coached football. Probably some intern wrote it. But what it said is, AOC runs a mean pick six, which no one has ever said who knows anything about football.
Okay, it's like saying AOC runs a mean touchdown. That's like an outcome,
Exactly,
not a play.
Exactly.
Okay, got
now,
it.
See, AOC could run a mean spread offense, or she could run a mean 3-4 defense. Those are like formations. Or, she could run a mean sweep right or a mean blitz. Those are like plays. But no one runs a mean pick six. It was just clearly a signal that whoever was running Tim Walz's social media account had no idea about football. But the larger message that I was trying to make with my post about it is that the video game part was just one part of the Democrats' kind of demented view of manhood and appealing to men. It started with Kamala Harris after getting pressure that she wasn't appealing to black men. She put out this opportunity agenda for black men. The top two items were legalizing weed and investing in crypto. And then you had, you have the one of the co-founders of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, with the Progress Action Fund. He's spending millions on ads directly towards young men, telling them that he's going to make sure Republicans don't ban their porn. And
I've seen that ad. It makes me physically recoil.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
But Democrats are actually using this as an argument for their party. And so it just shows what a sad, sorry view they have of what a young potential Democratic male voter was, which is a loner in his house, or probably not his house, a loner in his parents' basement, smoking weed, playing video games, watching porn, and gambling on crypto. This is what the Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party thinks of young. That's how they think they're going to appeal to them. And it's just not what men want. Now, they actually don't have to look too far to find out what men really want. The New York Times has been running this series of articles on the gender divide in this year's election. And they actually talk to young men what they want. And I'm going to butcher the quote here, but basically what the young man told him is like, look, I just want to earn enough money so that I can provide a house and food for my fiance and possibly children. And that's it. That's what young men want. They don't want to be high on weed, playing video games. They want a real job with a real relationship with a real woman so they can have a family and be protectors and providers for women. But Democrats can't admit that because their entire agenda is about girl bossing and make sure women can be completely independent from men. And so they can't say, no, we need to have space. We need to make it possible for men to be providers and protectors. That's just anathema to the Kamala Harris Democratic Party.
Obviously, the sort of persuasion portion of the campaign is at this point over. It's time to start getting people out to the polls. If Kamala Harris loses, do you think that the men part of the equation is going to be what people point to? And then conversely, we were just speaking off camera about how early voting numbers don't necessarily reflect that men are turning out in the numbers that Republicans need. If Trump loses, could putting all their chips on men potentially be seen as a reason why?
Yeah, I don't know if Republicans are putting all their chips on men. I would say this. when you look at Trump's ability to go in and cut down Republican or Democratic leads among Latinos and among blacks, right? He's, we'll see how the eventual final numbers come out, but he's getting historically large numbers of Latinos, far more than Bush ever did. Historically large numbers of blacks, far more than any conservative or any Republican ever has. I guarantee you that is 100% coming from Latino and black men. Those are the ones that are switching parties. Now, are they going to turn out to vote? I hope so. I haven't voted yet, so I'm part of the problem. But I will vote, and hopefully they will too.
And finally, you and the Examiner wrote about not letting the election ruin your relationships, a sentiment that was shared by Senator J.D. Vance recently in a town hall. You have a little speech for us on that, don't you?
I don't know much of a speech, but growing up in Oakland, California, pretty much all my friends growing up were Democrats, still are, which is part of the, I guess the problem, which is, I still am friendly with a good number of them, but a number of them also have, broken off friendships, specifically because of politics. I know of one of my closest friends, the last time we talked was election day 2008, and
wow.
Democrats won that one. But, Bush was McCain was so beyond the pale.
That was
right?
Before it was in vogue to cut people off.
To cut people
yeah.
off. So it's happened to me a lot, so I feel like it is unfortunate. But there is polling on this, and the polling does show that Democrats in particular are much more likely to cut people out of their lives for having different political views than they are. And I guess you're not a Democratic woman, but it's specifically college-educated white women in particular are the most likely to cut someone out of their lives.
I'm familiar with the type, yeah.
Might probably happen to you.
Yeah.
To cut people out of their lives because of political views. And I think that's highly unfortunate. I do think it's a big driver of polarization in the nation today, is that you just have a whole swath of people who don't even want to hear what the other side has to say. And I think that's unfortunate.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.